Okay, so in aid of always being tool ready in pack building, we're having a process where every works order that we do, in between it, we should clear down the station because we get left with these little bits of tag and paper from what we've used. So what we said was we could sweep it off into a bin, but Andy come up with this idea of using, instead of scraping it off into a bin, you put all your rubbish into one of these. So we're going to have a standard for every workstation, so 5, and we're going to label these up waste. So what you can do is fill them up with the rubbish as you're going along. So while you're building, you're not putting the rubbish on the table, now you're putting them in a mini bin, and then it takes 2 seconds to just come over to the waste and empty. It's improvement number 1. So improvement number 2 is going to be, on this station we've got some stuff that's not in the foam, and then we've got the stuff that is, and there's we've added extras as we've gone along. But what we were talking about is we prefer this standard as the thing sticking up in the air because it's much easier to grab and you can see the ends better on all of these tools. So we're going to copy this standard over to there, and it also takes up a lot less foam, so it's more efficient. So we'll try that over on this station. So now we've done this table, me and Andy, so you can see everything's got a home position and it's all sticking up in the air so you can see it nicely, the waste up here. So it looks much neater, much cleaner, much tidier. More space actually on the table as well. So another issue we have is the glue gun. It's liable to fall off there, so we have to hold it onto the table like this, which makes it awkward to put it on, and it also leaves bits of glue on the table. So we'll make an improvement to that. So what we've done to improve this is put this on, so if any glue trickles out the end, it will be caught by this box. And we've copied the standard on both. This one's already there, you see. More improvement to this station here. When you come down now, things are much more simple. So we have numerous different colours of tub. We've got grey, we have blue, we have the small red. So what we've done is said that blue should just be for customer parts, so it doesn't get confused with the grey waste tubs. We've also got a nice big space that the drill lives in. The glue sticks are under there, right where they need to be for where the glue gun is. We also have these trays here for if the customers have bigger parts that don't fit in these tubs. And we've also put the drill charger directly in front of the drill, so when that battery's gone, we know where the new one is and that it will be all fully charged, and we know to put this one on charge. The last thing I'm going to do that won't be shown on video is just sort this cable out. I'm going to cable tie that and shorten it all. So we're just on this table now. Andy has made a nice job of this. We are going to glue these down so they won't be moving. This one's come back up, but we'll re-glue that. So we did have tape around them like this before, but the tape looked a bit scruffy because we've got a lot of circles and curved edges. So we're going to just glue them down. And then the other thing is underneath this table, it's a bit messy. We've got this Dremel and all the bits for it. But every time we need the Dremel to kind of make the inside of a case bigger, so what we might have to do sometimes is, see them lumps there, is take them out because our pack won't fit if it's lithium polymer or something. So what we're going to do is mount this through the table, because every time we want to use it we have to get it out, plug it in, and it's a pain. It's not fast to do, so we'll come up with an improvement and show you that. The Dremel improvement, you can see we've not even cleaned it up yet, but the switch is underneath here. It's not plugged in, but it will just go into one of these wall sockets when we put an extender on. So the switch will be there. The controller for how fast the Dremel goes is just there. In the end, so you just pull it up. So all you need to do, turn the Dremel on now, is take that out, use that in your right hand, and then you just flick it on in your left.
So I'm just gluing in the end of there, gluing in the hole. Placing it.
Just twisting a bit.
As in that way.
There you go. So this was before it was under the table, but we've broken it to bits and just gluing it in just for connecting wires together, and we'll glue it there so it can reach this surface for us to solder on if we need to. It's only for connecting wires, so it doesn't need to carry any weight, which is why we're just gluing it. Okay, the next improvement me and Andy done is, before the solder was on there was a screw just going down into the table, just like that, holding it, so the solder would spin on the screw. What we've done is use some threaded bar and created this so you can actually push it in and pull it back out, and then we've given an eyelet so it just gives us more table space, because when we made this improvement on the Dremel, we found that it was kind of getting tangled up, because you could see where the hole was. So we moved that and made it much nicer. So on this station, for the home position, what we did have was this tape like this around everything. But what we've done, because a lot of this stuff's never going to move, we've just glued it on, and then the stuff that you can move around isn't. And I like that this is very, very similar to this sander. The only difference is the pop, which doesn't really matter. So that's a really good improvement of Andy's there, gluing the things down. So here as well, what we did was replaced we've got some spare cable here, any bits of spare cable that we use, which we could use as the positive wire. So we've put that in a nicer box and we've labelled it up, and that sits there.
So to finish the pack build table off, the jig where you glue the cells together is taking valuable space up on the table, really, so we looked at getting it off the table and putting it somewhere out of the way when not in use. So Mark's idea, put a screw on the side, like a hole in the back of the jig, and slot there out of the way when not in use. So as Isaac's already said, we've moved the Dremel from underneath the workbench, made a new home position for it, which has created space under the workbench, which we've now been able to utilise. So as soon as the packs come off test, they're moved over with the boxes and all the screws, and it's ready to build. So we've made 3 areas now that can accommodate 3 boxes, ready to build.
So for the wire shrink wrap, what we've done is, it was always in reels and we couldn't manage it, because we kind of, do you hang it over there or screw it up? What do you do? It was sat on this table, didn't know what to do with it. So what we decided was that we should cut it into pieces that we'll never need a piece longer than that. So we'll cut it into pieces like that, and we'll separate it into small, medium and large, and we're just labelling them up now, and then we're going to write small, medium and large on the backs there, and they'll sit just here. So another improvement we've done is glued all the drill bits on top of the actual pillar drill. So they were just taking up a space here, which we want to use for this stuff, so we've glued it on top, so it's actually the parts are where they use it. So another improvement on our pillar drill is, we've had this adjustment tool here, always sat on a magnet, and the magnet would move around. So I put a bit of glue on it and then stuck it on, so that will have dried there but it won't move. I've labelled it up adjustment tool, so now the adjustment tool is there and it's always there. Another pillar drill improvement is, we've now put all the small drill bits, the 1.5mm ones, just on a hook there, because they didn't fit in the box with them. Here's another improvement to this table, is the caliper never had a home position, so I've now given it one there. I'm going to turn that off. But the caliper has a home position. It's next to the ruler, near the 3D printer, because this is where we'll be doing design work, so it's all good. One that you saw earlier is down here now. We've labelled that the drill, because Andy just asked me, where does the drill go? So we've labelled that drill, and you can see now where it lives. So we didn't have a Dremel, well, with the Dremel, we didn't have a plug anywhere to plug it in, because we ran out. So the improvement there is we're sharing a plug now with Tester 2, so you can use the Dremel and this, both running through one plug socket.